Just off the coast of India, that is, barely 1,800 kilometers from the Kerala shoreline, right in the middle of the sea, there exists a nuclear secret base that sends shivers down the spine of the world. When Israel and Iran are locking horns in West Asia, which is that tiny island that the global powers are closely watching? The nuclear submarines hidden beneath the sea, the B-52 bombers ready to take off at any moment, and America's unsinkable aircraft carrier that conceals them all, that is Diego Garcia. Many people might find it hard to believe that such a military power exists right next to us. Our Indian Ocean ranks third among the 7 seas of the world. This great ocean, which connects the continents of Asia, Africa and Australia, is no longer just a body of water, but has now turned into a battlefield that determines the course of world politics. The main reason for this is the presence of the American military on the small island of Diego Garcia. This strategic center is located in the Chagos archipelago, which lies just south of the equator, between the Maldives and Mauritius. America's most powerful military base is just 934 nautical miles away from the southern tip of India. What is the real history of Diego Garcia? What are the military secrets hidden there? In the changing global scenario, how will Diego Garcia affect India? Through this video, let us delve into these secrets. If you enjoy in-depth geopolitical analysis, defense updates, and world-changing business news, do subscribe to this channel right now. To get such crucial global developments at your fingertips, make sure to enable that bell icon as well. The recorded history of Diego Garcia begins in the colonial era. It was the French who arrived here for exploration in the 18th century that first established their dominance. However, in 1814, after Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated in the Battle of Waterloo, this island, which was under French control, came under British rule. Since then, British dominance has continued in Diego Garcia to this day. During the Second World War, Britain established an airfield here for the Royal Navy's Far East Fleet. In the 1950s, this base was further expanded and weapons, including fighter aircraft, were brought to the island. In 1965, when Diego Garcia was declared part of the British Indian Ocean Territory, the very next year, that is in 1966, Britain and America signed a mutual military agreement. As a result, the United States gained the right to set up a military base on this island, with permission to deploy strategic weapons, including nuclear arms. This was not a minor move. The United States built the base there by forcibly evicting the Chagosian tribal people who had been living there for thousands of years from their own land. Even today, those people are fighting for justice in international courts. Strategic importance, the gatekeeper of the world. This island is located right next to the Mozambique Channel and the 8th degree channel, which are the backbone of cargo movement in the Indian Ocean. From here, the United States can monitor and control some of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. The choke points of maritime trade towards the 3 continents of Asia, Africa and Australia all fall within the surveillance range of the advanced radars at Diego Garcia. To put it simply, if America decides to block the movement of oil tankers from the Persian Gulf to China and Japan, this island is the best switchboard for that purpose. That is exactly why this island serves as a central point to coordinate America's 5th and 7th fleets deployed in the Indian Ocean region. The strength of the military airbase here is truly astonishing. One of the longest runways in the world is located at Diego Garcia. On this runway, which is about 12,000 feet long, even the largest aircraft in the world can land safely. B-52 Stratofortress, the radar-evading B-2 Spirit, and other stealth bombers are always kept ready here. These bomber aircraft can carry out attacks anywhere in Asia and return without needing to refuel in between. That is why this island is called America's unsinkable aircraft carrier. Apart from aircrafts, Diego Garcia is also a marvel when it comes to underwater warfare operations. Here, there are hangering and berthing facilities required for nuclear submarines. That means weapons, fuel, and food needed for submarines that remain underwater for weeks without surfacing can be secretly supplied from here. From the final days of the Cold War, this island has served as a logistic hub in most of the wars in which America has participated. During the Gulf War in 1991, bombers that flew against Iraq took off from here, Later, during the Afghanistan War in 2001 and the Second Iraq War in 2003, thousands of tons of war supplies were distributed through this island. Beyond being just a military base, its importance is further increased by the fact that one of the 5 main stations in the world controlling America's global surveillance system, the Global Positioning System, is located here. The world realized that the conflicts in West Asia are not just regional disputes when the fact came out that Iran's missiles have the capability to reach as far as Diego Garcia. This island, which for years the American military considered to be secure, now falls within Iran's range. This has completely altered the military balance in the Indian Ocean. When talking about Iran's missile strength, the first one that needs to be discussed is the Khorramshahr 4, also known as the Khyber missile. This state-of-the-art ballistic missile, launched by Iran in 2023, is capable of carrying extremely powerful warheads weighing up to 1500 kilograms. Although Iran officially claims a range of 2000 kilometers, international defense experts assess that its upgraded versions can destroy targets located more than 4,000 kilometers away. That means, with just the press of a button from Tehran, Iran can destroy the runways at Diego Garcia within minutes. This threat is not just an empty statement. According to American intelligence reports, Iran has openly warned that if there is any kind of military movement from Diego Garcia to support Israel in the West Asian war, this island will be declared a target. If B-52 bombers take off from Diego Garcia and bomb Iranian soil, the retaliation will be such that it could redraw the very map of this island. However, America too is fully prepared to face this challenge. To guard Diego Garcia like a fortress, they have deployed SM-3 interceptors, which are the world's best missile defense systems. This system operates using astonishing technology. This uses kinetic kill technology, which can detect enemy missiles outside the atmosphere itself and directly smash them. Instead of explosives, it can destroy missiles through high-speed collisions. Whether Iran's Ababil Shahid drones can evade the radar systems at Diego Garcia is a major question in the defense world. If Diego Garcia is attacked, its impact will affect neighboring countries, including India. If the missiles miss their target or are destroyed in the air, the resulting debris can pollute the shipping lanes in the Indian Ocean. In a way, the burning embers of West Asia are constantly smoldering, ready to turn the calm of the Indian Ocean into ashes at any moment. It would not be an exaggeration to say that every soldier in Diego Garcia sleeps these days fearing Iran's missiles. While the world was looking up at the skies and missiles in fear, a silent war was unfolding in the depths of the Indian Ocean. Recently, our seas witnessed one of the most terrifying hunting games in modern naval history. The main protagonist in this was the USS Georgia, America's most powerful nuclear submarine, which set out from Diego Garcia. This story begins on the shores of Visakhapatnam, the pride of India. In 2026, the Grand Naval Exercise Milan 2026, hosted by India, had astonished the world. When the state-of-the-art warships from around 70 countries, including America, Russia and Iran, lined up here, it was a diplomatic victory for India. In this exercise, the Iris Dana frigate, the pride of Iran's navy, drew special attention. This ship, equipped with advanced missiles and anti-radar systems, was indigenously built by Iran. However, as the Iris Dana was returning after the Milan exercise, a trap was being set for it beneath the sea. The advanced listening posts at Diego Garcia were closely monitoring every movement of the IRS Dana. In that week, when the Iran-Israel conflict reached its peak, a US submarine secretly departed from Diego Garcia and moved stealthily under the sea. There's a shocking rumor spreading among international defense observers. It is being said that it was the USS Georgia submarine which came from Diego Garcia that destroyed Iran's IRS Dana. Even though there has been no official confirmation, remember, the USS Georgia is not an ordinary submarine. It has the capacity to carry as many as 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles at a time. But it is being said that to take on the Iris Dana, they chose the extremely powerful Mk-48 AD-cap torpedoes. In that secret operation which took place in the international shipping lane south of the Sri Lankan coast, torpedoes were fired targeting the engine room of the IRS Dana. Within moments, the symbol of Iran's naval strength was engulfed in flames and sank into the depths of the Indian Ocean. The world did not come to know about this attack immediately because such battles under the sea are often considered black operations. However, later on, satellite images and communications from the Iranian Navy pointed towards this terrifying truth. On one side, while a peaceful naval exercise hosted by India was taking place, on the other side, America was hunting down its enemies using bases in Diego Garcia. This was not just the destruction of a ship, but rather a strong warning given to the Iranian regime. They proved that if Iran targets the runways in Diego Garcia with missiles, American submarines can turn the Iranian coast to ashes from beneath the sea. This incident, which completely changed the military equations in the Indian Ocean, formally establishes that Diego Garcia is not just a base, but rather a sea throne from which the world can be controlled at any time. There is no doubt that this show of strength happening right in front of India's eyes will have major repercussions in Asian politics in the coming days. During the Cold War, America used Diego Garcia as a shield to contain the spread of Soviet communism. But in the 21st century, China has taken over that position. Today, Washington's biggest headache is the rapidly growing naval power of China. The reality is that Diego Garcia itself is America's sharpest spearhead to counter China's string of pearls strategy, which is aimed at establishing dominance in the Indian Ocean. What exactly is this string of pearls strategy? This refers to the chain of ports and military bases that China is building around the Indian Ocean, such as Gwadar in Pakistan, Hambantota in Sri Lanka, and the military base in Djibouti, in a manner that encircles both India and American interests. To counter China's moves, the American presence in Diego Garcia is absolutely essential, because from this island, the US can closely monitor every single move made by China. The oil tankers, which are the lifeline of the Chinese economy, pass right through the surveillance zone near Diego Garcia. 80% of China's energy imports from the Middle East and Africa pass through the Malacca Strait. If America manages to create an obstacle on this route, China's factories will come to a standstill. The B-52 bombers and P-8 Poseidon surveillance aircraft stationed at Diego Garcia can reach the Malacca Strait within minutes and are capable of blockading China's sea routes. Apart from this, to prevent China's advanced Yuan-class submarines from entering the Indian Ocean, America has deployed underwater sonar nets at Diego Garcia. This system can detect the location of Chinese submarines within moments. International experts assess that America's silent war with China in the Indo-Pacific region will intensify further in the coming years. As China begins to send its aircraft carrier Fujian into the Indian Ocean, America will double its military deployment at Diego Garcia. More advanced F-35 stealth aircraft and long-range cruise missiles have already started arriving at this island. In a way, Diego Garcia is a major barrier that America has set up in the Indian Ocean to counter China's dominance in the Pacific region. As long as this island remains under American control, establishing complete dominance in the Indian Ocean will remain just a dream for China. But there is no doubt that just like China, this is also a major threat for India. For India, Diego Garcia is not just a foreign military base, but rather a spying eye that is always open right in our own backyard. From the very moment America leased this island from Britain in 1966, Indian diplomats and military officials have been watching this move with utmost caution. Just 34 nautical miles away from India's southern coast, a superpower has stationed its weapons, and this has always been a challenge to our national security. We can never forget the history of how, during the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971, America's 7th Fleet moved into the Bay of Bengal to threaten India. At that time, it was Diego Garcia that provided the necessary instructions and logistical support to that naval fleet. This bitter experience taught New Delhi an important lesson. Even if it is a friend during peacetime, this base could be used against India's interests during times of war. Today, the American listening posts at Diego Garcia are monitoring every single wave in the Indian Ocean. The signal intelligence units at Diego Garcia are capable of intercepting the deployment and communications of India's aircraft carriers INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant. To counter this, India is now relying on its own technology. There was a time when India sought the help of the Soviet Union to monitor American activities at Diego Garcia. There is also a history of the Soviet spy ship cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin assisting India in this regard. But today, times have changed. India has now developed its own state-of-the-art surveillance systems. The Indian Navy's P-8I Poseidon long-range surveillance aircraft regularly conduct patrols along the international maritime boundary near Diego Garcia. Moreover, India's own spy satellite GS-87 or Rukmani keeps a watch on every movement in the Indian Ocean round the clock, 24 hours a day. To measure the range of the American transponders at Diego Garcia and to prevent our secrets from leaking, India has established a strong electronic defense within a radius of 1,500 kilometers. However, with the recent increase in the Chinese threat, there has been a slight change in India's stance. India realizes that this American base will be helpful to a certain extent in countering China. As per the Elimoe Agreement signed in 2016, Indian ships are now permitted to use the facilities at Diego Garcia in times of need. Even so, the presence of a foreign military base close to our border has always been a factor that puts India under pressure. At present, Diego Garcia, known as the American Naval Support Facility, is not just a military base, but also one of the world's largest diplomatic dispute zones. In 1966, when America took this island on lease, more than 2,000 Chagosian descendants who had been living there for centuries were forcibly evicted. Those tribal people, who were driven away from their own land, are still waiting for justice as refugees in Mauritius and London. It is on top of their tears and sweat that America has built this iron fortress. For the past 5 decades, Mauritius has been asserting its claim over this island, even though the International Court of Justice and the United Nations have ruled that it rightfully belongs to Mauritius. America and Britain have ignored these verdicts, relying on their military might. However, in recent times, major changes in global politics have brought the Chagos Islands back into the news. The British government has agreed to hand over the other islands in the Chagos archipelago to Mauritius. But there's this one condition. The control of the military base at Diego Garcia will remain in the hands of America and Britain for the next 99 years. Why are the world powers unwilling to give up this small island? The answer is simple: the changing global scenario. With the ongoing war between Israel and Iran in West Asia, America does not have any place as secure as Diego Garcia to monitor West Asia and to defend against missile attacks. This island has become a necessity to prevent China's encroachment and to protect the trade routes in the Indian Ocean. What will be the fate of Diego Garcia when the lease period ends in 2026? Will America continue to stay there? Or will Mauritius get full control? There are many speculations, but one thing is certain: the question still remains whether this military presence in the Indian Ocean is a shield for world peace or a sign of domination by major powers. How do you view this nuclear-powered island near India's neighborhood? Is this a support for India's security or a threat? Please share your valuable opinions in the comment box below.